The ancient mansion at 13 Ravenwood Lane had stood silent for decades, its dark history whispered among the locals. It was a place where fear dwelled, where shadows crept, and where the past refused to rest. In the dead of night, Emily, a young writer seeking inspiration, arrived at the mansion's wrought-iron gate. A crescent moon cast eerie light upon the overgrown garden, illuminating gnarled trees that seemed to clutch the very air. The wind whispered secrets, promising untold horrors. As Emily stepped across the threshold, the creaking floorboards welcomed her with mournful sighs. The air was heavy, carrying the weight of forgotten sorrows. She explored room after room, each one a frozen tableau of bygone lives. Old portraits watched her, eyes following her every move. The study held a peculiar fascination. In its center sat a dusty typewriter, an unfinished manuscript strewn across the desk. Emily felt compelled to read it. The words spoke of madness, of a malevolent presence lurking in the walls. As she read on, the manuscript's author claimed he was not alone, that something sinister had seeped into his very soul. Emily's breath hitched as a cold breeze swept through the room, extinguishing the candles. Panic clawed at her chest and she tried to leave, but the door slammed shut, trapping her inside. She felt eyes upon her, unseen but malevolent. A voice whispered her name, chilling her to the bone. Shadows danced in the corners of her vision, taking form. Her flashlight flickered, casting monstrous silhouettes on the walls. In a desperate frenzy, Emily bolted to the window. As she clawed at the latch, the voice grew louder, more insistent. It spoke of vengeance, of tormented souls seeking release. The window swung open, and Emily teetered on the edge. Just as icy fingers brushed her shoulder, she leaped from the window, crashing into the thorny bushes below. Bruised and bleeding, she scrambled to her feet and fled, leaving the mansion behind. The next morning, the mansion stood as it always had, silent and foreboding. But Emily knew the truth, for the malevolent presence had whispered its tale into her very soul. She could never forget the horrors of 13 Ravenwood Lane, where the past lived on and the darkness hungered for more souls to claim.